Right, welcome back. It's been a couple of weeks since the Batwing, and now it's time for my next Batman project. This one I bought with a little windfall I had. Cost me, I think it was $29.99 off it, I believe. I can't remember. I think it was about $29.99. And I've been waiting to get this kit for a long time, especially now they've reissued it. So here is the next Batman project. Right, walking over to my chest freezer, I've laid all the parts out. As you can see, it is the AMT reissued Batmobile from the '89 movie. This is my favourite Batmobile of all time. Turning the box over, you can see all the various bits and bobs. A bit of artwork on the side. And then a couple of screenshots from the film. Not bad. You can see you've got the two main parts of the Batmobile. You've got the top and the bottom with all the various detailing on the bottom. Looks very nice. And you've got various bits and bobs on that sprue, as you can see, including the bit that pops out the front. You've got bits of the wings there that go on the back. Your bucket cockpit, and your two bucket seats, and a dashboard. Dashboard's fairly nice and crisp. The trouble is, there's no decals with this kit, unlike the Batwing, so I'm going to have to probably wash those dials to bring them out. And you got the front of the where the windows go. You got the front of the actual Batwing itself, where them big long things come out of. I can't remember what they was actually called. Some wheels, well, wheel hubs I should say. You got the solid rubber tyres, which I've left in the bag. You've got all the crown pieces, which I'm going to strip. I've read about that bleach can strip crown parts. And you've got your clear pieces, which is your canopy for the windows, front headlights, rear warning lights. Folding the guide out, semi-gloss black mainly for the colour, but I'm not going to do it in the semi-gloss black. I'm going to do it in the same colour as the Batwing, which is the anthracite. Detailing, the plans don't look too bad, look fairly straightforward. And again, you get another backdrop. So I'm going to pause the video and show you the backdrop. Right, as you can see, I've just quickly folded out the backdrop, and as you can see, it is the front of Axis Chemicals when the actual Batmobile goes in by remote and drops the bomb into and then destroys at the Axis Chemicals plant. Not too bad at all. I quite like that actually. Not bad. Well, anyway, there's the bit of a kit review. It's time to get cracking on with the Batmobile. Stay with me. Okay, welcome back. A little work, not much, but something has started on the Batmobile. As per the plans, I've done the bucket tub with the two seats, as you can see. Just that for the moment. And then it actually comes to the actual Batmobile itself. I basically just put the inner wings in, both sides, inner fins, the side pod pieces and the nose cone. So as you can see, there is a bit of a gap where the inner fins are. I've got to fill that in. Both sides, as you can see, I've got to fill all that in. And then on the edges of the fins, where I've connected them to the outer fins that are already moulded in, you can see there's a bit of a seam I've got to sand down. Then it comes to the side pods. Now there's a bit of a weird way how to put this in. Basically this circular section here for the intake, that actually goes on top, and then from there and that section there downwards, that needs to go from underneath. It was a bit of a difficulty to get them to persuade to sit into place once I glued them in, but eventually I managed to get them in. both sides, as you can see, and then you've got the nose cone. The nose cone was very easy to put in. I just put a bit of glue on the inside of the nose cone, and then turning this over, the nose cone actually comes through the body, and then you just put a bit of glue around the edges there, around that edge seam, and then that just pushes into place. And I used a bit of tape obviously to hold everything down. But like I said, not much, but definitely something. Stay with me. Right, welcome back. It's now time for the crown parts. Now the crown parts look really nice, don't get me wrong, but I want to strip these because I had a few problems with crown parts in the past on other builds, especially with bits coming off with the glue and having to top them up with silver. So after consulting the guys over at Brick Modeler and watching a few YouTube videos, I'm going to strip these parts using bleach. I've never done it before, so hopefully it'll turn out really nice. Stay with me. Right, as you can see, the chrome sprues are now chrome free. I had to cut that sprue in half because it wouldn't fit into the tub that we had the Chinese takeaway in a couple of weeks ago. My wife likes to keep the tubs, so I just filled the tubs with bleach, 3 tubs, and then put the lid on and left them for a couple of hours. And after a couple of hours, some of the chrome did start to come off, so using my toothbrush and some rubber gloves I managed to scrub some of the chrome off. A couple of hours later, same again, managed to get some of the chrome off, and then from what little bits of chrome was left, I just left them, I changed the bleach, and then just left them overnight. I mean, there are a couple of bits of chrome still hanging on for dear life. I mean, you can see on that sprue there, just a little couple of bits, but nothing too major. The one main thing I wanted to get the chrome off was the actual exhaust, the jet exhaust, and the chrome has come off 100% complete. And then you got the bit on the nose as well, which I've just glued to the engine, as you can see, and it's 100% off the nose as well. So I'm really chuffed with my first time of stripping crown parts. Stay with me. Right, welcome back. Another update for you. As you can see, I've now primed everything. You've got the air scoops for those bits on the side, we know that because this is part of the crown sprue. Another part of the crown screw there, that's all primed. The pieces for the engine that go on the side there, they're all primed, the crown parts. The top canopy, that's all done. The roof, the wheels, the actual main body itself, that's all nice and primed. Just move that out of the way. You can see the underneath of the chassis, that's all done. Right, and now I've actually started painting. As you can see, I actually primed the cockpit and the dashboard cover and the seat back that goes just above there. I've painted all that in matte black. You can see that I've done the dashboard. I've made a bit of silver wash with me, silver with me gunmetal, just to bring out the actual dials. And then that green screen there, I did that in the Tamiya X15 that I used on my Ford Focus WRC a couple of years ago, thinned it out a little. And I've also done the engine in the gunmetal as well. I mean, you're only going to see the front piece, but I thought, screw it, I might as well paint it all in the gunmetal. But progress has now started on the painting. Stay with me. Right, welcome back with another quick update. The body is now ready to be glued on to the chassis. But before I close everything up, I wanted to make sure I got all the parts on the inside. So when I closed it up, I realised, oh crap, I've got to put another couple of parts in, I forgot those. So basically that's what I've been doing. You got the 2 fuel caps, which I'd hoped that poked through a bit more because they don't actually meet the top edge of the body. You've got 2 clear parts. Obviously you've got the interior tub and the headlights. Right, turning this thing over, there's your fuel caps. You've got the two clear parts there. Glue those in first before you actually glue the back wall of the interior tub. Then you've got the headlamps. I painted the headlamps first on the interior parts with the 36115 yellow Revel. Took 2 coats. Once that dried, just glued them into place, pushed them in at an angle. Didn't need to clamp them. I just put a bit more glue around the edge of the interior tub just to give it a bit more security. And into the roof scoop, I've put some mesh. Because I didn't want to leave that blank. Because there's nothing stopping Joker's henchman throwing a grenade into that upper roof scoop. You can just make the mesh out there. Those little black pieces there is just where the glue overran a bit. Trying to get it into place because there's nothing really to glue it onto. It could easily pop out. But I managed to get there in the end. And the mesh was just a bit of mesh left over from my Humvee build. So now everything in, I can now glue that to that. Stay with me. Right, the only way I could put the outer body shell to the underneath of the chassis was to use tape. Because I couldn't clamp it, the clamps just kept slipping. And this has been drying for 12 hours now, so it's about time to take the tape off. Stay with me. Right, welcome back. As you can see, I've now very carefully pulled all the tape off. Because one main concern, because I had a few concerns, the tape, I wasn't sure whether it was going to pull these engine pieces away that I'd already glued on. Basically, the interior walls, I painted those in the anthracite first, let that dry. And then all the little bits of detailing on the actual moulded into the side walls, I painted those in gunmetal with my Citadel brush, my fine detailing brush. And then this engine part, before I glued it in, painted that in gunmetal, and then just glued it there. There's a little hole there, and then there's a little mounting like peg out that comes out, and then you just put a drop of glue there. Also, you got these intakes; those are painted in gunmetal and pushed in with the glue. Just turn this over. Both sides, as you can see, they've turned out wonderfully. The tape has took away a bit of the anthracite and a bit of the gunmetal, but with my Citadel brush, I can just top that up. So, like I said, when I pulled the tape away very carefully, I'm just glad the tape didn't pull away any of those engine parts. Might be worth you actually gluing everything together without putting those engine parts on first, but that's what I did anyway. Right, now as you can see, it's all glued lovely. Basically what I did is with the chassis, I just popped it into place. I found it easy to do that than running the glue all around the edges, then popping it into place. And then just, there was a bit of a gap around the outer edges, enough to get my nozzle in from my contactor, and then just ran around all the way around. But like I said, there was still a massive gap, so that's why I pulled the tape really tight to pull those side walls into the chassis, and it's gone in really nice. It's really pulled it in. And then yet another main concern was these two back sections here. They kept wanting to pop out, so top ways. So basically what I did is I just ran the glue around the edges first, lifted it up slightly, and then with my tape really tight, but not to deform the actual fins, and then it just pulled them in really nice, and then them glued down really well. I'm really happy with the results. I've got a bit of sanding to do here and there, but I'm really happy with how this has turned out. Stay with me. Okay, welcome back. Another quick update for you. As you can see, where all the glue marks was when I glued the body into the chassis, I've now sanded all those down the lovely and smooth. I've had to do the odd bit of slight filling here and there with my filler, and I've sanded those down once the filler dried. Most notably around the back here, a massive gap formed from all the way around the back here and there, so I've put the filler in there, let it dry, sanded it down. Now if you remember, I had the problem of gluing that section there and that section there on. A massive seam appeared, so I've had to sand all that down both sides. You can see that I've gone through the primer pretty much to the bare plastic. But it's lovely and smooth now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mask the rest of the Batmobile off top and sides and just top that up with a bit of primer and top those bits with a bit of primer. And then once the primer is dry to match the rest of it, it's then getting ready for paint. Stay with me.